Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint. I'm Niraj Shah, and it's a session which will be probably unlike what the world markets might trade like today. Not that there are big gyrations expected everywhere, but let me get straight to business. Now, the updates from India, everybody knows that the lockdown has been extended till May 31st, and therefore economic activity doesn't resume. And I'm purely talking from an economics perspective, not talking about whether there's the right or a wrong thing to do, what it does to health, but economic activity is not active until May 31st, or large parts of it, and therefore that should be a bit of a bummer. Goldman Sachs estimates that India's real GDP growth in FY21 will fall by 5%. Can you imagine that? Real GDP falling by 5% for the year at large, and that's quite stark, really. That's one of, I think they've increased the percentage points by which the real GDP will fall. That shouldn't be taken positively. And frankly, I was looking at the package over the last 4 or 5 days. I think that one big thing that stood out for me amongst a few others that were routine, and some other which were reforms that were mulled in the past and now being pushed as well, is that no new insolvency proceedings up to 1 year, as the finance minister stated. So maybe some balm for the NBFCs and banks, but let's wait and watch what happens in the session today, because the results were not all that great. However, the packages come and go on, and I think the SGX Nifty is showing what the market's reaction to the whole 4 or 5 days of packages. Mind you, we had a Friday evening, Saturday evening, and a Sunday morning, 3 announcements by the FM post Friday market hours. And the SGX Nifty, quite unlike what the other markets are doing, is likely to start off on a negative note. It's showing a negative start, so therefore our markets might start off on a negative note. US markets did okay, futures are doing okay, Asia is doing okay. So SGX is the only one which has got this spot of bother for itself in the session today. The other quick thing that you have to keep in mind, and I'm using this 5-day chart because crude prices tend to be deceptive. They tend to be up overnight and then tend to fizzle off. So this 5-day chart might be more interesting, which shows the uptick that we've seen in crude prices, and I think you've got to be mindful of that, and therefore watch out for upstream players, that is. But crude prices have started to inch up a bit, nowhere close to concerns, but certainly up from what they were about a week ago. Now, the trade setup for the day today, frankly, I have one chart for us, and that is what the Nifty's did last week. It's trading below a crucial trend line, which is usually considered to be a negative. The FI positioning is negative, cash flows or monies, the FI numbers continue to be negative, the positions on the index futures is negative, the Nifty is trading below key trend line levels. All of these point towards a week which might in all probability have more negative moves as opposed to positive moves. We will talk to our experts about whether or not there is some support at lower levels, but I really doubt. Now, I will watch out for the results today. Bharti Airtel, the most important set of numbers that we all will be watching out for, may come out post-market hours, but certainly the stock, it's a stock which is in focus for more reasons than one. One, that it is Bharti and the results, and telecom is so active, and two, Reliance Industries, which is arguably one of the most important stocks to watch, has done one more deal. They have roped in General Atlantic as the 4th investor in Geo Platforms. General Atlantic will invest about 6,598 crores for 1.34% stake. And this deal is in line with the valuations that Silver Lake or Vista paid, 12% higher than what Facebook paid. But more importantly, it's one more tranche of money coming in, and smart money coming in for Geo. And therefore, it should augur well for Reliance. Remember, now this week, the whole rights issue game also starts for Reliance Industries. But I think both Bharti and Reliance remain in focus today. Vedanta remains in focus today. There's a board meet to consider a delisting proposal. I urge all our viewers to log on to BloombergQuint.com and read that article on Vedanta that has been put up. My colleague Menka has written it, but it gives you a fair idea of what the board meeting could hold in store today. So I urge you to do that. But Vedanta certainly remains a stock in focus. It's done very well. No reason why it couldn't do well further. AU Small Finance Bank is the other one which I just want to briefly mention. Bharti SBM Holdings has acquired 24 lakh shares. It's just a small percentage stake, 0.8% at 414 rupees. It's a promoter selling. Remember, this is a Sunil Bharti Mittal owned entity. Well, is this a foray into acquiring a NBFC asset of sorts to facilitate some ambitions that they might have? Could be interesting to see what happens really. It could just be a routine investment too. I'm just trying. The timing is interesting. What won't do well, or what could not do well? CIPLA Q4 results not the most impressive. The revenues were 4376 crores versus estimates of 4336 crores. The quarter four profit, which is down 38%, at 246 crores versus estimates of 368 crores. The profits substantially below estimates, margins way below estimates, 14.5% versus 17.6%. They were impacted 200 basis points due to COVID-19 related cutoffs as well. So in a strong sector, a weak number. Let's wait and watch. CIPLA gave off all the gains I think it had in Friday's session. Could be interesting to see what it does today. And certainly these two, M&M Financial as well as L&T Financial Holdings, the numbers were wobbly and therefore could react. M&M Financial, the numbers were weak and subdued commentary. Asset quality weak. 75% of the customers have opted for moratorium as well. So very weak numbers, very weak commentary. Could start off lower. Similarly for L&T Financial Holdings, could start off lower because the numbers were very, very weak and disbursements had fallen as well. But asset quality was stable. Last but not the least, viewers, I just want to leave you with this one thought. We are all obsessed about the package and what's happening to COVID-19. I think something that is lurking in the background is probably one big red flag, and that is the US-China war of words. If this escalates, then it's a big, big problem. A top US official suggested that Beijing sent airline passengers to spread the coronavirus worldwide. I'm not saying that is the truth. I'm saying that the rhetoric from both the US and China's end has really moved up, and that might be a big overhang for world markets at large. And remember, India is back to global playbook with a bit of an inherent weakness of its own. If the global markets come off, then that's a bigger double whammy for India. So Indian markets, that is. So do watch out and be mindful of this. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup today.
How many places can you be at once? What if we said 9?